Yesterday, after the groundbreaking trade that was reported sending Bradley Bills to the Phoenix Suns against just some second rounders, Chris Paul and Landry Shamet broke out, right? We really focused on Bradley Beal in the future for the Phoenix Suns, rightfully so, because this is the most exciting squad right now in the NBA. I do not believe they are the best team, but it's just going to be fireworks on the court. Just seeing KD, Book, and Bradley Beal figure it out in front of our very eyes, and they still got DeAndre Ayton. We're going to be in for highlight reels every time the Phoenix Suns are out there offensively, and I also believe that the other squad will get off on them just because the defense will suffer, I believe, from the lack of role players on there, the sacrifice on there. But in this video, I really want to focus about Chris Paul's future because, man, first of all, the NBA is a cold world, man, because Chris Paul is a veteran in this league. He's put his time in. He's arguably a top 5 to top 10 point guard of all time, and he was brought to Phoenix, and he brought this squad. He turned their whole culture, their whole perspective, trajectory around, man. Although they went in the bubble and they won 8 games in a row, once Chris Paul got there, they added Jay Crowder also, and they went straight to the finals from a team that couldn't make the playoffs in I don't even remember how many years, straight to the finals, man. And he almost got them there. So, but no. Man, the NBA is a business in the cold business. The man actually found out he was traded and thrown away while he was I believe he was on a plane or something. And they didn't even bother to kind of tell him or whatever. So, man, the NBA is a cold world. But let's talk about Chris Paul's future because he is not going to remain a Washington Wizards. There's just no reason for it. The Washington Wizards might as well go ahead and be as trash as they can. Get that salary off the books and rebuild completely. They got a new coach, I believe, or a new owner, one of those things. So it's a new era. They got rid of Bradley Beal. They really lowballed that trade because they was like, man, we're trying to get out from all these motherfuckers, man, and just start from scratch. So Chris Paul is not going to be a Wizard. So Chris Paul's name has been linked to two obvious candidates, the Lakers and the Clippers, with Chris Paul obviously spending some time in LA, Chris Paul being 38 or turning 38 this offseason. It can't be just about basketball at this point. It's also about the family. So where else, if you got some money to go in America, right? So you go to LA and he still gets to compete. He's been a Clipper before. The Clippers are very competitive, although they have some injuries. If one day maybe they can stay healthy, they will be formidable. And they've always liked that point guard that can actually facilitate their offenses because Terrence Mann can be good, but he's not a facilitator. And Russell Westbrook at this point of his career, I still wouldn't trust him in the clutch to make some good decisions like that. He can still be a good slasher. He showed that last year in the playoffs. But when it comes to actually setting the table for PG and Kawhi, while they were here, he wasn't doing such a great job, in my opinion. So Chris Paul would be very appreciated over there. And obviously on the Lakers, man, like he was supposed to be a Laker in, I believe, 08, 09, one of these years. And we all know what happened with the NBA vetoing the trade. He was supposed to join Kobe and win his ring. I think this would have happened. And now in LA, he has his buddy LeBron James. And we all think that, they would love to play together. They mentioned playing together early in their careers and everything. And the last name that's been attached to, the last team, that's been attached to Chris Paul's name, to my surprise, was the Golden State Warriors. So in my opinion, they would just sacrifice some youth and bring Chris Paul off the bench. And they would have on the floor at all times either Steph Curry or Chris Paul. And although Chris Paul is not the same player, that is insane to have those two guys running the show 48 minutes every night. But where should Chris Paul end up? In my opinion, he shouldn't go to the Lakers or the Clippers if you were to have a choice. Because on the Lakers side, they could be great. Chris Paul, I don't know if they start him or if they bring him off the bench for Schroeder. I don't know. In my opinion, you want to rely on Chris Paul as least as possible. Especially in the regular season because we know about his injury history. He's not the same guy anymore. He was only averaging 13 and 9 last season. 9 is still good. This is still starter's minute, but if you put just a little bit on the toll on him, he's going to either become a liability on defense or get hurt right on schedule when you need him the most. So, in my opinion, you play Chris Paul like 20 to 25 minutes a game. You close the game with Chris Paul, but you do not necessarily start him. So, on the Lakers, this is already an injury-prone squad and an old squad. So do you want to add on and bet on another aging superstar, another injury-prone guy? Unless he goes out there and takes like 7 to 15 million max, maybe. But if it's for more than that, I'm not doing it. I'm getting other players. And I can say the exact same for the Los Angeles Clippers. This team is cursed. They always get hurt. So to go out there and bet your whole offense on Chris Paul at this stage of his career, he had these prime seasons for the Clippers, and he was getting hurt back then. So why would you even believe for 1 second that at 38 years old he's going to come back and this time be healthy for a whole playoff run? Don't do that if you're the Clippers. Just don't. And for the Warriors, I guess to me this is the better option, quite frankly. Because, again, the idea of having Chris Paul coming off the bench for Stephen Curry, Chris Paul mentoring the young guys that's going to still be out there, for 48 minutes, you're going to have either Chris Paul or Steph Curry on the floor is insane to me. With the shooting that they may have, Chris Paul can also space the floor. You can run some different lineups depending on what the squad brings you. I wouldn't run Chris and Steph a whole lot, unless it's in the clutch when you want to go small, and if the team around does not have dynamic guards. But man, that team could be scary. So if I'm Chris Paul and I get to actually choose where I want to go, I'm going to somewhere fresh and I'm riding Steph Curry's coattail, man. And yeah, that's what I would do if I was Chris Paul. So I cannot predict where he ends up. I think he ends up in LA, but I'm not sure. Probably actually, I don't know if it's going to be the Lakers or Clippers, but he's going to end up in LA, in my opinion. But that's just me. So anyway, so these are my takes about Chris Paul's future. Maybe he can try and go to Milwaukee, but I don't think he's trying to live in Milwaukee at this stage of his career, man. So yeah. So that's all I got about the Chris Paul future. Get in the comment section. Give me your thoughts about Chris Paul. Where should he go? Should he actually retire? Do you believe he might win a ring someday, or it's over for him? And yeah. Appreciate you guys for checking me out, and I love you. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.